you can serve powerfully and make money. Join me and Kimra Luna for an animated conversation around service, income, and the power of owning your shit. In this episode, you'll learn how to shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance in an instant, why there's no such thing as giving away too much value, and that the key to creating success is through taking responsibility for it. Kimra Luna is a personal branding and online business strategist. She helps freedom-seeking entrepreneurs to stand out, captivate their audience's attention, and monetize their authentic brands online. From a standing start in May 2014, she's grown her email list and combined social media followings to over 100,000 people. Online entrepreneurs widely regard her Facebook group, the Freedom Hackers Mastermind, as one of the most supportive places on the internet. Today's episode is sponsored by How to Conquer Your Bullshit with CPR, my free training that will help you bring your mission to the masses. Sign up for the free training at rubyfremont.com/CPR. And finally, whether you're new to this podcast or a loyal thought leader, please make sure you drop a rating and review. Now it is time to hack your business mindset with Kimra Luna. Welcome to today's Thought Leader, where I'm challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. I'm your host, Ruby Fremont, and I'm here as a catalyst for you, the new generation of thought leaders. Join me every week as I dive into raw and real conversations that will help you amplify your presence, influence, and impact. Hey, thought leaders, I am back with the one and only Kimra Luna. And I've got to say, I was a little excited to see what color your hair was going to be today. It is pink.
It changes a lot. So,
Yeah.
And I'm on dating apps and stuff because, like I separated a year and a half ago from my partner of 12 years. And people on the dating apps are like, what color is your hair currently? Because like each picture has like a different color hair. And so I'm like, oh, it's pink with like a little bit of purple. And they're like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then like a few months ago, I was like, oh, it's like bubblegum pink. And like, it's just funny.
Yeah. I love it though. I love it. And one thing that I have noticed about you over the years is you have this impeccable way of like standing out above the noise on social media. And I mean, over the past like 4 years alone, since I've been doing this and I've been following you, it's gotten noisier and noisier and noisier. And yet you're still holding your ground and still piercing through all of that bullshit. So I would love to hear from you because in your own words, you help people captivate their audience's attention. So what does it actually take in today's social media obsessed era to captivate your audience, but do so in a way that's authentic to you? Because that's the other thing that makes you awesome is you're just so fucking real.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of things, but the main thing is just sharing stories. People nowadays, they really want to work with real people. And if someone is some sort of coach or a consultant or a freelancer of any type or someone who just wants to serve people in any way, when you're online, you have to be real. And it can be kind of scary, but having that little bit of that brave visibility is something that's really crucial for brands nowadays. It's really the only way you can stand out. And I do end up getting a lot of clients and customers coming to me because they're just like, you're different than all that other clutter, and it's not because, I'm like the most miraculous teacher in the whole entire world and there's nobody else that can help people get results. It's that they're like, you know what? I'm tired of all that other BS. I just want to pick somebody that's going to just cut through all of that and get me results right away. And so so one part of it is sharing the stories. Then the other part is having customers and clients have amazing results, like really focusing on the results. I had made a post on Facebook the other day that said like, everybody's really great at marketing, but not everybody is great at getting people results. And that's really the difference between someone that's going to have a lot of success and stand out, because there are people who are actually pretty quiet on social media. They actually don't post a lot, and they still have multiple 7-figure businesses because the results that they get speak for themselves. And Jeff Bezos has that quote, and I don't know the exact words, but it's kind of something like, you are what, like your brand is like what people say about you when you leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're not in the room, what is those words that people are talking about? And if people are saying amazing things about you, your brand is going to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I always tell my students and clients, like, it's so important to focus on the result that is given.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a process that you take your clients and customers through that get them a very specific result. And that's going to make your brand stand out. Everyone thinks they need to have 100 zillion followers on every single platform. And that's really not true.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who have 7-figure businesses who have 1,000 people on their email list.
Yeah.
It's really just being amazing at getting people results, being laser targeted and focused on serving the person, getting them what they need, making that transformation happen, and then talking to people and telling them what the heck you do.
Yeah, that's so crucial, because I think in today's day and age, where social media has such this strong presence and influence on the way in which we show up and the way in which we use and market our businesses, it can be far too easy to fall into the trap of, I need more followers, I need to do whatever it takes to get more followers. Maybe that means sacrificing my integrity and who I am. Mm-hmm. But when you do that, you're actually also chipping away at, I believe, the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
There's I feel like there's so many businesses that are popping up and then going away, like going poof, because they're not producing the results that you're talking about. And that they might get like a high and super fast following and create some sort of like short-term dent. But unless you're getting the results for your clients that they're looking for, or exceptional results that are really transformational, it's going to fizzle out. It's just not going to last. There's going to be no longevity there.
Yeah, there needs to be that sustainability. And I think people, they don't focus on that. They just focus on like, how can I make this quick buck, rather than focusing on like, how can I have longevity to my business? And since I've started this company 4.5 years ago, I have seen people come and go. Like, I'm like, where the heck did that person go to? And it happens a lot. And it's because they weren't able to get their clients results, which goes back to having an actual skill. And sometimes you do need to work with a few clients for free to develop your skill set. There's nothing wrong with that type of thing. There's all these like coaches out there telling everybody, oh, you got to charge like $3,000 like straight out of the gate. And I'm just
charge what you're worth.
Oh yeah, charge what you're worth. You're not worth crap if you can't get a person a result. Like you're not worth anything yet. Like, yes, you're worthy as a person, but you're not worth those dollars that someone's going to pay you if you can't get them a result. And so I think it's just an interesting industry. And I've actually had clients who have came to me who they end up firing their current, business coaches, because their current business coaches either like don't really believe in them, or actually making them play small than what they can really achieve. I mean, there's all of this stuff that goes on, and it kind of really sucks because in like the business coaching sort of realm, there's no like specific certifications you have to get. There's no like specific, like anybody could just go out and say, I'm a business coach, or I'm a coach on anything, health and wellness, anything,
life coach,
anything. People could just go and say that's what they do and charge for it. And the thing is there's nothing that regulates like what is the real result people are going to get. Are they actually having a good experience with you? There's not like an Amazon where people can post their reviews of what the experience was like with that person. And sometimes people even get scammed from people. I mean, it's a crazy kind of industry to be in. But the thing is I know because of the results I've got from my students, we have hundreds of testimonial videos. I mean, there's so many testimonials videos that get sent to me. My team doesn't even have time to keep editing them and cutting out the clips and like utilizing them. Like there's just like a whole pile of them that haven't been used yet, So it's like, I know the results. And so that's what makes my brand stand out, and has from day one. It's always been that way. I'm always like, this is the result you're going to get. This is the program. Let's do it, and then accountability. That's another thing that is really missing and lacking, because a lot of people, they're teaching people, this is how you have like some sort of, successful side hustle, or even if they're coaching them in a spiritual sort of thing, they're not really giving people accountability. And it's not like, when you're in school, you're going to get an F if you don't do the work, like it's like the people who are selling this are to people who they're just buying it because they want to buy it, and it's like, how are you going to help them get a result? You need to put accountability in place. You need to be really focused and getting all that feedback and being very precise so people can have the most lasting results. And that's why there are some people that do have amazing programs with amazing testimonials. And then like 99% of the people that are out there in the online space don't have any great testimonials, and everything just sucks. So it's really interesting industry to be in, to say the least.
Yeah. And both those things, the accountability and the results, like both those things require touch points. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but just even the last year alone, like everyone is becoming obsessed with the idea of scaling, and they're dropping the need to like really serve and really provide touch points for people. And in a world where, yes, we can connect to each other by our fingertips on our phones, yet we're also feeling so much more disconnected. So I've found, even just with my clients, like they're seeking to feel seen and heard and have someone in their corner. And that is slowly starting to fade away in our industry.
Yeah, everyone's like, let's just sell like 1 million digital courses. And I mean, it's great. I've grown my whole business on digital courses.
Right.
However, I was always present in the digital courses. Like all of my students on every testimonial video would be like, oh, Kimra was there answering questions. She was there supporting us. She had office hours where where we were able to ask questions. If something was missing in the program, she would just record another video for us. Like every testimonial would be that, because I was present with people. So you can still scale and be present with your students. And I think that's something that's kind of missing. I had sent out an email today that was just like, there's all these these bro marketers or whatever. And, that's what I call them. And they have all this sleazeball crap where it's just like, everything is like, make this crappy course and then just market the hell out of it and make these automated things that just push people into it. But then you're not getting any feedback from people. You're not connecting with any of these people that are taking the course. Most of the people that take the course are barely even opening the first video, and then they don't even log in again, and they just paid you $150, So there's all of this clutter and things like that. But the thing is, I feel everybody, like if anybody's listening to this that's like, has a business, like focus on the client. Focus on the student. What is that result? How can you really make a strong, lasting impact on their lives? And most of my students end up buying every single program I put out. I have so many students that bought every single thing. And it doesn't matter what I put out, they want it because they know it's going to be strong information. It's going to help them in some way. So I think it's just a really, like I said, it's an interesting space to be in, but I'm grateful that I have been able to kind of rise above a lot of that noise and that stuff. And that's because I've always been like, I want my community to have the best experience ever inside of these programs. I actually have a new program that's coming out called the Nebula Institute.
That's an amazing name. Oh my God.
So it's the Nebula Institute. So all my stuff is all spacey. So if anybody hasn't Googled me yet, like everything's all, sci-fi stuff and spaceships flying around my website. And so
it's pretty epic.
So I have the Nebula Institute, and it's a new thing I'm coming out with, and every single client call I've been getting on for people that are interested in being clients for this program, I let them know, like, exactly mapped out, like, this is the exact things we're doing. This is the exact result you're going to get. Like, people will be in your program before it's even over, like, let's do this thing. Do you want to do this or not? And if someone doesn't maybe have the money for it or things like that, I have other things that I can sell them, So some people, they might not be able to invest super high amounts of money right away. And that's okay. I don't believe in just, I need to convince every single person I talk to like try to get inside my program. I'm more like, you know what? If you're not ready for that yet, that's okay. Because I was there before. Like the first programs I bought, they were like $50 monthly memberships because like I couldn't afford a $2,000 or $5,000 program, so I was there before. And I even in those $50 programs, guess what? I freaking hustled my face off and I did all the work I needed to do and I just did it. So, and I'm still like that even now. I just bought a $6,000 program. I'm like the most diligent A+ student there is in the whole entire freaking class. You know what I mean? Like, because if I invest in something, I'm going to do the work. And I think that makes people, it's different. If somebody really wants to get the result, they have to do the work.
Yeah, it's, I mean, what you're demonstrating is really your commitment to your cause. And
Mhm.
that in itself also shows your commitment to your community. And that's like one of those things that's lacking. You know, I talk about this a
Mhm.
lot, is the importance of sharpening our tools, even as
Yes.
teachers, guides, mentors, coaches. Like, we're to just think of ourselves as masters of our craft, like that limits our potential to be anything more. And so
Mhm.
it's so important for us to like continue to sharpen our tools and continue to up level where we're at, so we can continue to then serve our community powerfully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally, 1,000% agree on that. And growing up, you know, here in the United States, it's like mastering something isn't something that's ever taught.
Right.
Like people don't master things here. Like there's places in like Asia where people like they master something,
Hmm.
you know, like they are pros at it by the time they're like 10 years old.
Yeah.
But you know, here in the United States, it's like they don't teach you to master anything. Everything is just so jumbled and all over the place. And you know, and I feel like, you know, there are definitely certain things I have mastered, and now there's other things I want to get better at and get better at
Hmm.
and get better at and make sure my skills are the best that they can be, so I can better serve everybody that experiences me, whether they're just someone who
Right.
sees an Instagram post or whether they're a person that's actually inside of a paid program.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the most common misconceptions about the way in which you have just described how you approach your business is people, and maybe some of the listeners feel this way, people feel that they can't afford the time it takes to connect with their community,
Mm,
because that's taking away from some other aspect, including their wallet. You know,
yeah.
and I know we have a lot of other teachers out there that are teaching this, like, don't give shit away for free. I mean, there's a difference between being really idiotic with giving away everything for free and like just being there to serve. So to those people, like, how do you find that space of balance where you're serving and serving powerfully, yet you're also creating that impact in your profit margins?
Yeah, like I think for me, it's just I just really never worried about it.
Yeah.
When I first, the first ever webinar presentation I did, I had this mommy blog, and a family friend of mine, he'd been an online marketer for a long time,
Hmm.
and he was asking me how I was, you know, getting a lot of traffic to my site, and I was getting over 100,000 unique views a month. And he
Yeah.
was like, "How the heck are you doing that? Like, that's crazy." I was like, "Oh, I was using Pinterest, and I've been really blogging really heavily, and that's how I've been doing it." And, you know, he asked me how I did it. And I was just like, well, you know, it's pretty cool. I could, you know, maybe I could show you. Is there like a screen sharing thing or something? He's
Hmm.
like, oh, well, let's do like a webinar. And this is back when Google Hangouts like just came out. I had
Right.
never done a webinar before. And he's like, let's do a webinar. I'll invite my audience to come and watch you. And I'm like, what? I don't even know how to do a webinar. You know, like I was just like, I'm just like a mommy blogger. Like, what are you trying to do to me right now?
Yeah.
You know? And so he's like, oh no, this is like great information. Like you really need to like get on, do this. So I was like, all right. So I get on this Google Hangout. I was so nervous. Every single word was because you know I didn't know what to say
Yeah.
like at all. And I eventually, you know, did this. I did this presentation, and it ended up being like 2 hours long on this Google
Mhm.
Hangout. And at the end of it, there was a lot of people who emailed me like wanting to like work with me or wanting me to support them in some way. But then there was these other people that were like, you just gave away way too much information. Like
Mm.
all of that should have been inside of a
Yeah.
course. And the second I saw those emails, I knew that just wasn't true. Like
Right.
I just knew like that is not part of me. Like that is a scarcity, lack mindset. And that is
Mhm.
not me as the mommy blogger chick that I am. Like I just was like, that's not me. I want to be
Mhm.
able to just share and give value. And somehow that's going to make me money. Right.
Mhm.
And that's just how I've always done it. Like I don't hold back on any of my webinar presentations. I never have. I'm the person that's on there for 2 freaking hours and people are like, oh my God, Kimra, thank you so much for answering all my questions and everything. Like
Mhm.
just how I am, you know, and I've been able to make six figures. I was able to do that within 6 months and
Yeah.
then do 7 figures within 18 months. So,
Yeah.
and that was by just giving. I'm not
Mhm.
the most amazing salesperson. In fact, the program I'm taking now, that's $6,000, is to develop my sales skills because I'm
Right.
actually not that great of a salesperson. And I was able to make 7 figures without being a master salesperson just by giving tons of value to people.
And this is
And
super important for our listeners to understand. Like Kimra has just shared, like she's not a good salesperson. What I see in you, and I'm just going to reflect this, you're an amazing, incredible connector and seer of other people. And when people feel seen and heard and recognized, they will want to be in your presence. And then that's why you have people who will not just invest in one of your products, but multiple products. And then people who
yeah.
stay in your sphere for that long.
Yeah, and a lot of my students, they, refer people to come to me, and I don't do like affiliate things, so people don't make commissions by like referring people to me, but people
Right.
still do it all the time
Yeah.
because they're like, no, Kimra is going to be the one that's supporting you. She's going to give you high value. Like I just got a reputation for that, and it takes time to build that, but it's just how I am. And then I also spent a lot of time doing collaborations. Like I have done a lot of joint ventures with other people. I spend a lot of time, like even in my monthly membership, I bring in guest trainers. It's not just me that's helping. It's a collaborative. And I'm from punk rock world, if you can't tell just by looking at me, but I used to book concerts for a living. And I started doing that when I was 17 years old. And in the punk rock world, everything is about community and connection and building those relationships. And that was something that I learned that when I was a teenager from being a punk rocker. And it's something that I still do in my business now. And it's been able to elevate my brand because I'm just like community. Like, let's help each other out. Let's support each other. I'm always shouting out people. I don't care if I make a commission off of who I'm shouting out. I'm like, if this person's going to give someone amazing value, I'm going to shout them out.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of people who are scared to shout people out.
Yes.
They're like, they don't go out and just like mention somebody else's program. I do it all the time. I'm like, I don't care if I make commissions. Like, I just know that this person's program is going to help my audience. So I'm going to shout it out. Yeah. And I had recently talked to one of my friends and I said, that's part of the reason why I felt a lot of things were kind of imploding in the industry is because people think someone is like their friend. But then why doesn't their friend like support them? Like if I was just in like, a painter's community, if I went to an art show, I'd be tagging the other painters that were in the art show. So why in business is everybody like, oh my God, it's like too much competition, or, like I can't shout at that other person. What if they go and buy from them and they don't buy from me? And it's just a big scarcity mindset thing. And this is even with the biggest top people, they have this scarcity mindset. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. Like, I am done with this crap and I'm just going to be different. Like, I'm just going to ignore that. Like, you guys could go ahead and just be in your scarcity mindset. I ain't participating, like I'm going to go and do my own thing.
Yeah. And that's what I believe ultimately this is what everybody wants, right? They all want to be able to feel that freedom to receive support and give support, but then there's the scarcity mindset that keeps them from doing it. Like, oh, I can't share this because I'm currently promoting this, or, oh, but I'm also a coach, so I can't really share this. And there's more than enough to go around for so many people.
There's 7 billion people in the world. I mean, come on, like,
and everybody has their own flavor, like
exactly.
Life coaches are a dime a dozen nowadays. Same with business coaches, but everyone has their own fucking flavor, and everyone has their own vibe and energy, and that means they have their own audience and community. People are going to want to or resonate better with. I mean, there's going to be people who resonate better with you, Kimra, than me, and the opposite. There's more than enough. So how do you think? I mean, because I feel like this is such a common issue for people, and you probably get this a lot with clients who come to you. How does someone make that shift then from operating their business in a place of scarcity to operating their business from a place of like abundance, which is really to serve and to serve powerfully and to provide and create results?
Yeah, well, a few things is look at who your mentors are. A lot of times people are following people who kind of promote this scarcity mindset. And like you said, like if anybody's thinking like, oh, like if you just believe that there's only so many slices of a pie, then you're gonna, that's how you're gonna operate. And if you have mentors that are preaching this type of stuff, just tell them, no, shut up and stop listening to them. Like, just go elsewhere. Because like I said, when I got those emails of people like, oh, you're giving too much value, I was just like, no, that's not true. I can give as much value as freely as I want to give, and people still want to be my clients because I got 3 clients from doing this, and this is my first ever webinar. So y'all don't know what you're talking about, right?
Right.
So it's kind of like I just had to make that decision to do it. You know, the first chapter of Think and Grow Rich is decision, you know, so it's like, just make the decision. It doesn't take like, oh my gosh, I need to have all this money mindset coaches for years and years and years in order to, like, you know, have a better, you know, or to get past the scarcity mindset thing. No, you can choose it right this second.
Yeah.
It doesn't take all of that. It's for some, maybe it does. If you want to continue to be a victim forever, I don't know what else to say to you, you know, but it's really like, do you want to change that mindset now or not?
Right.
It can happen like a flick of a light switch. Just boom. All right. New mindset. I'm not accepting that into my life anymore. It's really not as hard as everybody thinks. Everybody thinks you need to have like a million mindset coaches to get past all these money blocks. And I'm like, no, not really. Like, I mean, I grew up poor on welfare. My mom was a single mom with 5 kids. I was on welfare myself with 2 kids. I was stuck on welfare for 4 years. If I can flip my money mindset like that, then anybody can.
Yeah. And this is so important for people to understand. Like, it really does just take making that decision and then creating, because once you make the decision, it, as in like, there's no other option. This is just how you're choosing to operate from now on. Once you do that, then all the decisions and choices and the way in which you show up in your life, that's going to align with the decision that you just made. You're going to start to make choices and operate your business from a place of abundance versus scarcity.
Yeah, exactly. And this happens a lot because, you know, I'll get people come to me where they're like, you know, I really want to create these programs. I really want to serve these people. I have a super, you know, strong passion for this. And then they're like, but, you know, I'm stuck in all this mindset stuff. You know, like I feel like, you know, maybe I shouldn't be able to charge that much. I'm like, there are literally 1,000 people that charge way more than that even, you know, like, you're choosing to just not tell a person I charge this much. Like, that's your choice, you know, and you can stay in that choice. I got no problems with that. But how is your life going to be if you just stay doing that? How is your life going to be? How, like, you can choose. Everybody has to just make a choice. And that's all I did. You know, I have experienced immense amounts of trauma in my life. I have PTSD, ADD, OCD, depression, and anxiety, all diagnosed. Like, so it's not just I'm making it up. Like, it's all diagnosed stuff. And I can still function highly. I'm a single mom with 3 kids. I can still get clients. I just closed 3 new clients today. Like, I can still do it, you know, and it's because I made the decision to do it.
Yeah.
That's it, period. Like, I never had no mindset coach. Like, who coached my mindset? I coached my mindset by making the decisions, journaling. I do a lot of journaling. So I do kind of coach myself, but like, I haven't had to rely on something outside of me. And I feel like it gets messed up kind of almost in like the self-help type of industry and things like that. It's like everybody's relying on something else outside of themselves. And I'm a Reiki master, and I used to actually do Reiki like for my living, just to like make extra money to, like, you know, buy diapers and stuff when I was on welfare. And so I used to do, you know, all this stuff, and like clients would just come back and back and back to me. And it's because they just kept looking for me as like, I was the external thing trying to help them. I'm like, I'm not the answer. You're the answer. The answer is within you. And I can only do so much. Like, you have to make the decision to heal. You have to make the decision to get past all these things. It's your choice. It doesn't matter what coach is telling you what. If you don't make the decision, I know some people that paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on all these coaches, all these programs, and got no results because they didn't make the decision.
Yeah. And this is a common like problem nowadays, is people are just freely spending their cash on coach after coach after coach, program after program, and not actually integrating what it is that they learn. They're not actually following through or showing up for themselves or making the changes that need to be made. And they're just looking for the next life preserver. And in business, like, if you're an entrepreneur and you're constantly looking for the next life preserver, without like, and totally denying the power you have to look within for the answers that you need and the shifts that you need to make, then I can tell you, you're not going to fucking make it anywhere. Like, you're going to be spinning your wheels every fucking day.
Yeah, and and it's sad. I feel kind of sad for
Yeah.
people because I'm like, oh
Because
my
you want to
gosh,
shake them
like
by the shoulders and you want
I
to be like,
know.
God, like just wake up.
Yeah, and and it's really interesting, and luckily nowadays, like I feel like there are people who are kind of like just they come to me and they're just like, I'm just done, Kimra, like I'm just done buying all the programs. I just tell me what to do and I will do it. You know, and I love it when I get those people because I'm just like bam, 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 and I'm like, hell yeah, you just had a 6-figure launch, you know, and I'm like so stoked because they just do it and they execute. But sometimes it takes people to be ready for that. And so I do feel bad that some people are spending all of this money and all this sort of stuff, but at the same time, I'm grateful that there are people that are coming to me that are like, I'm just ready to go, Kimra. Like, I don't need to work on the mindset stuff. I just need to go. And it makes me so happy when those people come to me. Like even the last person I was on a call with, like she didn't need any of the mindset stuff. She was like, I just want to go, Kimra. Like, let's just do this thing. I'm
Well, it's
ready.
because they made the decision
Work.
to be ready, right?
Exactly.
They made the decision to be ready. And, you know, the mindset stuff, like I need to change my mindset before I do anything. Like that's just a fucking excuse. Let's get it real. Like that
Yeah.
is just an excuse. We have the power within us to become who we want to be right now.
Yeah.
You know? And there's so much power in understanding that and being with that. In fact, like a lot of my clients come to me after working with the business coaches and they're like, it doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, well, let's see why. And then we start working together and it's like, it's because you haven't been integrating any of it, nor have you been taking ownership for your faults, like your shit and the way in which you're choosing to show up and the way in which you're choosing to act around your business, with your community. Like none of this is aligned with where you want to go.
Yeah.
And there's no reason that you can't be the person that you see in your vision today. So let's be that now.
Yeah.
So that you can then start creating that life and business that is working for you immediately. So I love that you shared that. And I think it's so much more potent coming from your story, you know, living in, you know, having single mother, first of all. And, you know, let's just get that. That's one thing. I mean, you had so many things that many people would say, oh, blame it on my circumstances. But you chose not to do that by making a decision.
Yeah, like I had sent out an email on New Year's Eve because my second son was born on New Year's Eve. And I was sitting there in the hospital and I felt so powerful. Like it was such a beautiful birth experience. But then at the same time, I was like, God, I'm a freaking loser. I have no clothes to even put on this kid. I have no college degree. I have nothing to show for myself. I had a previous business before. There was a booking agency. It crumbled to the ground when the economy crashed. I was like, I have nothing. I didn't even have a car. I didn't even have a computer. I didn't even have a smartphone. I like had nothing to show.
And what
I
year
was
was
like,
because I just
this
want our audience
was
to know.
2011.
Okay.
So he was born New Year's Eve 2011. And it was like, I was just like, no, like I'm not going to live my life like this anymore. Like I'm just done. Like I'm not going to raise my kids on welfare their whole lives. I was raised on welfare my whole life. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it took a few months. We moved it to the next step, which was like my husband was finally able to get a job. And then that was barely paying the bills. Like I couldn't even buy like a Starbucks, you know, like it was like we couldn't buy anything extra. I didn't even have clothes actually. Like I think I had one pair of jeans for like a 3-year period of time. It was kind of crazy. But anyway, so he got a job. We finally were able to get off of welfare. And I moved to this small town, Stewart Strath, Virginia. And I had no friends, no family or anything there. And, you know, it was just me and the 2 kids at home. And I didn't even own a computer. And I just, you know, I said to my husband, I was just like, yo, like, I would really want to start a blog. Like, I want to start this mommy blog, you know? And I was like, can I get like an iMac or something? Like, I really want to get a computer. And he's like, oh, well, when our tax return comes back, like, we can invest that in a computer. So I was like, okay, cool. So I get the computer. I don't even know how to use a Mac for one. Like I never even used one in my life. So I mean, I'm poor, you know, like that's where I come from. You know, I was like, I never use this. So I had to Google how to use my computer. That was the first thing I had to do.
Right.
Then I started Googling, how do you make money with the blog? How do you help people online? How do you make money helping others? You know, like I just started Googling all these things and everything started falling into place. I started my mommy blog. And that blew up. And then that led me into what I do now. And now my company is like, we've done 7 figures every year since we've started. you know? And it's like, people are just like, what the heck happened? You know, like, how did this all happen? And it's like, yes, I was working on my mindset, obviously, but it could have happened so much faster. I spent so many years just continually making excuses about my situation. Like, oh, I have PTSD. Oh, I had this traumatic childhood. Oh, blah. Like, and I still kept doing that. And when I finally made the decision to take actual responsibility for the results that I was getting in my life, that's when the shift started happening. I was like, I don't want to be just paying the bills. If my kid wants to play soccer, I want to be able to hire the best goddamn soccer coach there is in the whole freaking country if I have to.
Yeah.
If that's what he wants to do. You know, like, I want to be the mom that provides that for my kids, you know, and I just wasn't going to take any more excuses anymore at all. And so I was like, you know what, if I make a few $1,000s a month, that'd be really great. And from there, it just blew up so fast. I didn't even know what to do with myself. Like, my first launch was like a $65,000 launch. I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah.
But all I was doing was serving. I was doing webinars every single week. And I was doing them on weekends because my ex-husband was working at the time.
Yeah.
And he was working like for FedEx. So he was driving like 12-hour days and stuff. And so like, I didn't have time to do webinars during the week. You know, he'd come home from work, eat, and we'd have to go to bed right away, you know? So it was like, I had to do things on weekends, and everyone was like, oh, you can't have success doing webinars on weekends. And I was like, bitch, that's what I did. Right. You know, like I did it. Like, that's exactly what I did, you know, like, so you can do things your own way. I tell people all the time, like, there's a million ways to make $1 million.
Yeah.
You just got to get in your head, like, I'm going to freaking do it, and just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it until you get there. Yeah. You know, I don't feel like I'm all of a sudden, I'm like the smartest person ever. I'm a 3-time art school dropout, not even a university dropout, 3-time art school dropout. You know, like I don't have any sort of special, you know, skills or knowledge or anything when I started. I just kept going, and I learned my skills along the way. And that's all I did. And I knew how to build community. That was the main thing for me, was community. That's my superpower, is building community. And so I was just like, I'm just going to keep building community, keep serving them. And that's all I'm going to do. And then 18 months later, it's like, all of a sudden there's 7 figures. And I'm just like, and I was hugely pregnant with my 3rd kid at the time. Right. So I'm just like, I'm hugely pregnant with my 3rd kid. And I'm like making a post like, oh, my son's about to be born. Oh, and FYI, 7 figures. Yay. And everyone's like, wait, what? Wait, a baby's happening and 7 figures on the same day? Like, what's going on? You know, so it just all started rolling. And it was because I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to serve, highest capacity, get people results. I have students who are now making more money than I make. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? Like, they're like always messaging me, oh, I just did this other launch, or I did this other thing. I'm like, you surpassing me. Like, what is going on here? You know? Yeah. Like, now I'm like racing with them. Like, hey, like, I want to try to get to where you're at, you know? So it's just been really fun journey, and I've really enjoyed it, and I enjoy what I do. And now that I've built my business to a place, now I can branch off and do other things I love to do. I have a punk rock podcast that's coming out called From Badsville. So if you guys are punk rock, that's awesome. Look at it. So we're calling it a bad cast from Badsville. Yeah. So I'm doing it with my friend Frankie. So it's gonna be really cool. And then later this year, I'm gonna be starting a video gaming live streaming show with my sister. So my sister lives across the country from me, and I want to be able to talk to my sister all the time, but she just lives so far away. And I was like, oh, well, you know, since I can't hang out with you on a daily basis, like, let's just play video games every day. Right. So now I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be fun. And of course, my kids can be involved and have fun with it too. So I have a lot of new projects and stuff, but it's like I had to like build my business to be able to do that. And then eventually I want to come up with my book. I have my new brand, Sacred Mama, that I'm coming out with, and that business is going to sell primarily physical products, which is something different than all the digital stuff. I have a cannabis company that I'm going to be working on, which I just finished the pitch deck for that. So I'm not going to be the face of that brand, but I'm just going to be like the owner of the company and like overseeing everything. So I'm able to now do all these types of things because I've just built all the relationships and just kept on going. And even though I'm in the middle of a divorce, which divorces, you know, can really crush you. I mean, it was very difficult for me to be very creative. But I'm, you know, now I feel I have even more freedom than I had before. I'm able to, you know, share more vulnerably and share things that my ex didn't want me to share.
Yeah.
And so it's only just been growing and growing, you know, like I really just had to just be like, you know what, I'm just doing it. And I just didn't let anything get in my way. Anything. Like people are just like, oh, how do you have so much confidence? I'm like, I don't have confidence. I do everything and I'm terrified of doing it. I just do it anyway.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to like simplify what you just said for the top nuggets.
Okay, got it.
So like what it takes to create this level of success is, one, do things your fucking way. To make the decision to succeed.
Yeah.
Stay committed as fuck. And stay connected. So connected to your audience through serving them, through listening to them, through engaging with them. I mean, when I mentally dissect what you were saying, I was like, yeah, here's the formula that she's been following. And at the same time, it's also like a formula of authenticity. So I love that. And I thank you so much for sharing those parts of your story with our audience today. I think it'll really just help drive home the power of making a decision, staying committed, connecting with your audience, and so forth. We are nearing the end of this episode. I feel like I could continue for like another 2 fucking hours with you. But that would change the format of my entire podcast. So we might just have to do like a follow-up episode at some point.
That would be great. I would totally do that.
So Kimra, why don't you tell our audience how they can stalk you online? And then I'll put this in the show notes.
Okay, got it. So one of the best places to find me is actually my Instagram account. So Instagram.com/Kimra Luna. That's where I share a lot of behind the scenes and things that are going on in my business and just other, you know, cool stuff that I like. Then of course, freedomhackers.com. That's the name of my business. And over there's all sorts of free business courses, all sorts of fun stuff. And if you go on the website while you're on desktop, you get to choose an avatar and have a little spaceship that's flying all around everywhere. It's really fun. I made my website like I made it like a video game because I'm like,
you gamified it.
Why not? You know, I made it fun. And then my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel, we do have 2 new videos that come out every single week. And I also live stream there as well. So youtube.com/Kimra Luna. And those are the best places to find me and stalk me and hang out with me and learn more about me.
Awesome. Love that. Thank you so much for just bringing your presence, sharing so many amazing nuggets of wisdom with me and with our audience today. I so appreciate you, Kimra. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and to our listeners, thank you for joining me and Kimra on today's Thought Leader, where we're challenging you to rise up, speak up, and create a movement. If you're looking for all the links, they are in the show notes. Please be sure to drop a rating and review on iTunes. And if you want to get in contact with either myself or Kimra, reach out on social media. Again, the links are in the show notes. And I will see you later on this week with a brand new episode of today's Thought Leader.